Hi, good day everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be showing how we can configure different Python environments so that we can isolate each Python environment from each other. So in my vast experience of coding for many years, I've seen that when Python developers do machine learning projects and they typically install many libraries using pip install commands, and many a times there's our version conflicts between different packages and libraries because different packages have different dependencies with different version numbers. So to avoid this hassle and for to ensure that we have clean workspaces and clean environments where the environments don't intermingle with each other and the projects keep on running, it's better to have isolated environments. As I've seen many a times when you install libraries, either existing projects either stop working or your new projects do not work properly because of package conflicts. And the errors are extremely hard to difficult, even though it's just a version mismatch problem most of the times. So let's see how we can set this up. I've opened my Anaconda prom shell. So you can install Anaconda from the Anaconda website. I've already done that to save us some time, and I'm going to do everything in real time so that if I encounter any error, I can give the solution as and when we go. So I've installed the Anaconda the software. I've opened the prom. First, I would like to see what are the list of the environments I have. So let me do Conda environment list. So it is loaded, and you can see I have only the base environment set up. So let us go on by creating a new environment. So I say Conda create n, that's for new, and then I will give the environment name as say my demo and Python version equal to 3.11.3. and this is the beauty for it. You can give whichever version you want and you can have different environments for different versions. Let me hit enter. Alright, so it has asked me to install all the dependencies. I'm going to say yes and let it install. Okay, it has finished installing the environment. Now let me try to activate this environment. I can say conda activate and the environment name, so my hyphen demo, and you can see it is now activated this environment, my demo. Now inside this environment I can go and install my packages, and it will be local to this environment and will not conflict with any other environment. So having said that, let me deactivate this environment. Say deactivate, and let me do conda environment list again, and we can see now the new environment my demo has been created. So now let us fire up Jupyter Notebook. It's a very famous web utility to do your machine learning projects. For doing other Python projects like web applications or Streamlit applications, I prefer Visual Studio Code, but for sharing machine learning code, Jupyter is one of the prime notebooks used because it's easy to share your findings and your work. You can save it and you can share your work for other people to run, especially when you're doing community contributions. So let me fire up Jupyter Notebook. Alright, it's starting on a local server. It should fire up Chrome right now, yes, and it's loading. And you can see it has loaded the default folder path. I will go to documents. This is where I've stored my machine learning projects. So inside I can click on this folder and I can start a new Python project here. But if you see, it's giving me the default Python kernel. It's not actually activating my environment, or there's no kernel for the environment which I newly loaded. So how do I fix that? Let's take a look. We'll log out from here first. Close the window. Let me shut down the kernel. Alright, it's shut down. So let me clear this. Alright. So now I'll activate my environment again. On that, activate my hyphen demo. It's activated once again, and now what I need to do is I need to install a kernel and I need to associate this kernel with the Jupyter Notebook. The another option would be I could directly install Jupyter Notebook within this environment, But this would cause a lot of hassle, as for every project I prefer to use a different environment, and then for every project I would have to have multiple instances of Jupyter Notebook. So I have only one instance in the base environment, and then for each and other instances I install the kernels and associate that kernel with the Jupyter Notebook in the base environment. So let's take a look how to do that. So I can do that by saying conda install ipykernel editor. Okay, it's asking for all the dependencies. I'm going to say Y and proceed. Yes, it's done. And now what I need to do is I need to associate the kernel with the notebook. So I can do that by saying ipython kernel install / user, that is for the current user, and I need to give it a name. So -- name, and I can say equal to my-demo. I can name it anything, but I'm just going by the my-demo name, and let's install this. Okay, my kernel has been installed. Let me clear this, and now let me do a conda deactivate and go back to my base environment. And if I fire up Jupyter now, my kernel will be associated with the Jupyter Notebook. So let's take a look. Jupyter Notebook. And you can see now I can go back to documents, I can go to ML projects, and if I do a new project here, so you can see, right, my kernel has come. So whatever libraries have been installed or associated with my environment will now be available to this instance. So it's isolated from any other instances, and I can install any other packages I want. It will be only for this environment, and it is associated with this kernel. So now it is loaded. Let us try to give a basic Python command. So I say print, let us print a list of numbers, list range 5. So it will print a list of numbers from 0 to 4, and it's working. Now if I try something else, you must keep in mind this is a blank environment, so many of my packages and libraries will not be there. So if I say import numpy as np, this should probably give me error. And you can see this is running in this my demo kernel. So this is not found because it's a blank instance. In the base environment, this package would have probably been there. But since it's a blank environment and we want to start our most Python projects and machine learning projects with a blank environment so that we have a clean slate when we install the packages and there are no conflicts. So this is not found. Now to install this, I need to go back and install it in that environment. So I'm going to log off from here. Let me save this so I can resume. And I come next time I saved it. I log out from here. Close this. Close this. Let me try shutting down my kernel. And it's shut down. Now I go again, conda activate my demo. And here I can do, once it activates, I can do a pip install. So pip install numpy. And we'll let it install now. And I successfully installed numpy. So I will do a conda deactivate. And fire up my Jupyter Notebook again. Yes, it's loading up once again. Now let's take a look. Let's go and open up the same file for my machine learning projects. I saved it, so probably it should be there. And yes, the save file version is loaded. Let's try to rerun this. Let's run this to see if it's working. It works fine. Let's try to rerun this. And yes, the error is gone because the numpy package is now available. So you could see I installed that in that specific environment and now it's available since the kernel is associated with the Jupyter notebook. Let's log out, leave, close this, exit this. Alright, I've shut down the kernel. So now I'll also want to show you another way. So say I want to do coding my machine learning projects or any other native Python projects using Visual Studio Code. I could do the same approach, and it's very helpful to do this in Visual Studio Code, specifically if you're using, say, OpenCV or any other video streaming or audio streaming applications or any other web applications or streamed applications using Python. For machine learning applications, I prefer to do it in Jupyter Notebook, but you can also do this in Visual Studio Code, and you can in fact also open Jupyter Notebook in Visual Studio Code. If you want me to make a video on that, do let me know in the comments and I will make a video on that. But right now I just want to show how you can get around in Visual Studio Code as well. So I need to open up my Visual Studio Code. This is my Visual Studio Code environment. And first thing I need to do is I need to press Ctrl Shift and P. Okay, this will open the window. I need to select the interpreter. You can see it is showing me my two environments, the base Python environment with this version, and this is the one I installed, where we have installed NumPy as well. So I want to select this interpreter. Once the interpreter is loaded, you can open the files. I've already created one machine learning project and I've created one test file just to check, to save us some time. So again, I've done the same thing. I've printed a number, I've imported NumPy as NP, and I've printed a index. Okay, so I printed a list of numbers as we had done earlier from 0 to 4, and I put the same code because I wanted to show that I'm using the same environment. Okay, you can see it is showing the same environment, the Python, the version, and also the my demo, the Conda environment. So NumPy should be available here. So I can do this. If I had not installed NumPy as mentioned earlier, I would have got the same error as I got in Jupyter, but it probably will work now. I'll run this Python file. You can see it's loading, and it is loaded, right? So it has activated my environment and it's loaded. It has printed out the numbers, and that means the NumPy package has loaded as well. So you can code here also, and you can isolate your environments from each other. This is quite helpful. And there's a way to do it with Jupyter Notebook as well within the Visual Studio Code. And do let me know if you want. I'll make a video on that as well. So let's close this and let's exit this and exit Visual Studio Code. Okay, now I would like to show some cleanup activities. So let me do CLS. Okay, and basically, if you have too many environments, it can get complex to manage. So if you're not using a specific environment, it's good to get rid of it. So you can do that by first saying Conda environment remove, and then you can say the name of the environment. And I'll do this my-demo, and let's see. So removing all the packages of the environment. It is done. So let's see the environments again. Conda environment list, and you can see it's now cleared from here. But do not forget to do one more thing, is that we have created a kernel, so we need to remove the kernel as well, as else the kernel will be dead and will still be existing in the Jupyter Notebook. So let's see Jupyter kernel spec list. You can see my demo kernel still exists, so I need to remove this as well. So I can do this by Jupyter kernel spec uninstall and uninstall. I just need to give the name. I think it's my demo. So let's check if this works. It's asked me remove the kernel. Yes, no, yes. So this command has worked, and it is done. I can check again. Jupyter kernel spec list. And you can see it's gone from here. Only the base kernel is there now, and I can fire up Jupyter Notebook again and check here. And once again, if I check here, you can see the kernel is gone. So it's very clean now, and it's gone back to its old version. Well, that's about it. That's what I wanted to cover in this video. If you want me to make another video on showing you how you could use Jupyter Notebook within VS Code, do leave a comment below. I will also leave a link to some of my other videos where I've used a ChatGPT by showing how we can use XGBoost without writing code, as well as ChatGPT to solve multiple regression problem. I'll leave those links on the top right hand corner or at the end of my video. If you want to be updated with the latest machine learning content that I publish on my channel, please do consider subscribing to my channel and like and comment on the video below on what other videos you would like to see. That's about it for now. Thank you guys. Have a good day.